Welcome to the Future Sense, the channel dedicated to helping everyday people take control of their money and work toward financial freedom. Today's topic hits home for millions. Why are so many Americans living paycheck to paycheck, even with decent incomes? Imagine this. It's the first of the month. Your paycheck hits your account, and within days, it's gone. Rent, bills, groceries, debt payments, all of it. You look at your bank balance, and the number barely moves. Sound familiar? You are not alone. In fact, more than 70% of Americans live this way, paycheck to paycheck. And it isn't because they're lazy or irresponsible. This is the story of an entire nation caught in a cycle of rising costs, stagnant wages, and subtle forces designed to pull money from your hands before you even realize it. But here's the thing. Understanding why it happens is the first step to breaking free. And history gives us the clearest lens. Because the truth is, the world wasn't always like this. There was a time when a single paycheck could cover rent, groceries, a car, even savings without stress or fear. A time when the middle class was thriving and families felt secure. Somewhere along the way, that balance shifted. Energy crises, globalization, skyrocketing education and healthcare costs, and the rise of consumer debt quietly transformed the American way of life. By the time the 2008 financial crisis hit, millions of Americans were already living on the edge. Today, the stakes are even higher. Housing, healthcare, transportation, and debt dominate our lives, and the old rules no longer apply. But here's the good news. You can take control. You can reclaim your life, your freedom, and your financial future starting today. In this video, we'll explore the historical forces that shaped paycheck-to-paycheck living, the hidden pressures crushing today's Americans, the psychological traps keeping you stuck, and the step-by-step, evidence-backed strategies to finally escape. By the end of this video, you won't just understand why Americans live paycheck to paycheck. You'll know exactly how to break free and start building real financial control. Let's step back in time. 200 years ago, most Americans didn't rely on bi-weekly paychecks. They grew their food, built their homes, bartered, and lived at a slower pace. Money mattered, but it wasn't oxygen. Then the Industrial Revolution changed everything. Factories demanded regular labor, predictable output, and consistent wages. The concept of a pay period became the lifeline of American workers. You worked for 2 weeks. You got paid for 2 weeks. Repeat. This rhythm became ingrained. And for the first time, American survival depended on a steady paycheck rather than self-sufficiency. By the mid-20th century, America thrived. The post-World War II era offered stability, affordable housing, rising wages, growing pensions, and a middle class that could save. Even a single income often covered all essentials. Families could dream about vacations, education, and retirement without fear. But then cracks began to appear. The world economy shifted. Globalization and inflation crept in. Costs rose faster than wages, and slowly, the cushion that protected generations disappeared. Today, Americans are being squeezed harder than ever by 3 relentless economic forces, and the data underscores just how severe the pressure has become. Number 1, housing costs have exploded. For much of the 20th century, renters spent about 20% of their income on housing. Today, that number has jumped to 31%, with inflation-adjusted rent rising a staggering 75%. While median renter income increased by just 15%, for homeowners, the burden is even heavier. The median monthly cost, including mortgage, taxes, insurance, and utilities now sits at $2,035, consuming roughly 43% of median household income. What was once a basic, manageable expense has become a weight crushing the finances of millions. Number 2, healthcare has become a financial minefield. In the 1960s, families spent roughly 5% of their income on medical care. Today, total national health spending has reached $4.5 trillion, with Americans paying about 10.6% out of pocket. Even with insurance, a single emergency, a hospital visit, an unexpected surgery, or a surprise bill can wipe out a month's paycheck. Average out-of-pocket costs now exceed $1,000 per person annually, leaving families vulnerable and anxious over expenses they once thought were protected. Number 3, Everyday participation costs in modern life have soared thanks to hidden, recurring expenses. For example, the cost of owning and operating a car now runs around $6,900 per year per household. That averages to about $575 per month, a substantial chunk of many household budgets. Staying connected isn't cheap either. Internet, mobile service, TV, and streaming services together cost nearly $280 per month. Then there's the subscription drip apps, meal kits, gyms, software quietly draining money month after month. Most Americans don't notice until they check their bank account, only to find it nearly empty. Step back, and the picture is clear. What should be simple necessities, shelter, healthcare, and the ability to participate in everyday life have become a relentless financial vice, squeezing every dollar from every paycheck. It's not just numbers on a spreadsheet, it's anxiety, stress, and the constant worry of making ends meet. And for millions, it's the daily reality of living paycheck to paycheck in a world that has quietly but relentlessly shifted the cost of living far beyond what wages can keep up with. Most people living paycheck to paycheck aren't reckless or careless. They're simply overwhelmed, trapped in psychological patterns that quietly dictate their financial lives. The first trap is the survival mindset, where simply paying the bills feels like winning. You might think, as long as I make it to the next payday, I'm fine. But that illusion of stability is dangerous. Surviving is not the same as thriving, and it keeps you from planning for real freedom. Then there's lifestyle creep, the silent money thief. Every raise, bonus, or windfall disappears into bigger rent, fancier cars, trendier gadgets, or nights out, leaving your bank account looking healthier than your wealth actually is. Numbness is the third trap. Chronic stress from financial pressure dulls your thinking, making it easy to ignore the future while obsessively managing the present. Your focus narrows to surviving the next paycheck, and long-term goals fade into the background. These traps feed on each other, locking people into a cycle that feels impossible to escape. But here's the hopeful truth. Once you see them clearly and understand how they work, you can start making deliberate choices to break free and reclaim control over your money and your life. The hard truth is that the system is built to extract as much of your hard-earned money as possible. And most people walk into adulthood unprepared because they were never taught how money actually works. We spend years learning geometry, biology, and history, yet almost no time learning financial basics, leaving many adults functionally financially illiterate. On top of that, consumerism and psychological traps work constantly against us. Modern marketing plays on dopamine, urgency, and social pressure. While one-click purchases and non-stop app notifications are engineered to make spending effortless and automatic, and behind it all, debt itself has become a business model. Credit cards, student loans, and auto loans aren't neutral tools but highly profitable products designed to feel easy, painless, and unavoidable. The system is undeniably stacked against regular people, but history proves that individuals can still break free. Don't strive to be normal in a broken system. Be different, be intentional, be weird, because normal people are broke. There are two groups of people who live paycheck to paycheck. Those who simply don't earn enough to cover basic needs, and those who do earn enough but have lost control over where their money goes. And here's the part most people hate to admit. Both groups are drowning in the same financial anxiety. That one flat tire, one medical bill, or one missed paycheck could send everything crashing down. Recent surveys show that 61% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, including over 40% of households earning six figures, proving that income alone doesn't guarantee stability. High earners aren't immune. Lifestyle creep, rising fixed expenses, and easy access to credit quietly consume every dollar as fast as it comes in. The truth is blunt. It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep and control. Without discipline and a plan, more money doesn't solve your problems. It simply raises the price of your mistakes. And until someone learns to manage the income they already have, higher earnings just build a bigger, more expensive version of the same financial trap. Breaking free from the paycheck-to-paycheck grind isn't just a financial shift, it's the beginning of a new life. It starts with tracking every single dollar, not as a chore, but as an act of taking back control. Finally, seeing your money clearly instead of letting it slip away unnoticed. Then you build your first 1-month buffer, even if it's only $20 at a time, because that small cushion is proof that you can create safety, stability, and peace in a world that constantly pulls you off balance. Next, you go after the silent leaks that have quietly drained your power for years. Housing costs, transportation habits, debt payments, lifestyle creep, and those never-ending fees. When you plug those holes, you finally create a surplus. Maybe just $50 a month at first, but that tiny surplus becomes the spark that ignites everything. Debt reduction, savings momentum, and your first steps toward real wealth. You automate your money because your future deserves systems that keep working, even on the days you're tired, stressed, or overwhelmed. You add friction to your spending, deleting saved cards, removing shopping apps, unsubscribing from temptations, because every barrier you create is a vote for the person you're becoming. And that's the final step, identity. You transform into someone who pays themselves first, who knows where their money goes, who values freedom more than status, someone who refuses to live on the edge ever again. This isn't just a strategy, it's you reclaiming your power, your choices, and your future. The old American dream promised a simple formula. Work hard, buy a home, retire comfortably. But that dream often left people trapped in endless cycles of bills, debt, and stress. Today, the real dream isn't about wealthy, it's about control. Control over your money, your life, and the choices that define it. Financial freedom isn't a number in your bank account. It's breathing room, optionality, and the peace of mind to live on your own terms. Escaping paycheck-to-paycheck living doesn't just give you money. It gives you time, freedom, and the power to design a life that truly belongs to you. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, know this: you are not broken. You are not failing. You are facing a system built to test you, but you can win. Start small, track every dollar, build your buffer, hunt the biggest leaks, automate your wins, forge your financial identity. Take control right now. The next chapter of your story doesn't wait, it begins today. Seneca said it best: it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Stop wasting time. Stop letting your money sit idle. Make it work for you. Your financial freedom is not a dream. It is a choice. Your choice. Own it. Claim it. Live it. Thank you for watching. If this video gave you one tip to improve your money or your future, hit like and subscribe. Every click helps us make more content that puts you in control of your finances. Share it and help others take charge too.